Speaking of things getting played and not played potentially, one of the next big topics that we've all been waiting for your opinion on it because you were the champion of it.
Hmm.
Xbox has announced their latest plan. Who knows? By the time next week, it'll probably change again. Where they're now raising the cost of their consoles across the board from the S to X. Everything's getting a price jump. Future games, depending on the game, will be $80. And yeah, and God exclusives continue to come to PlayStation. So, granted, I was telling Tim, I was like, it's just crazy because I was editing last week's pod, and I got into the point where you were talking about like, oh yeah, like I can kind of see Phil's plan with Game Pass, and I was like, as I'm editing that part, that's when the tweet comes in of like Microsoft is raising prices, and I said, boy, boy, man, it must be infuriating to be a fan of Microsoft, bro. They do not seem to have any clear direction on what they want to do. But what were your thoughts on seeing the price raise announcement and their latest plan, pretty much?
I mean, I don't like at first, and still, I'm okay. The console is like 5 years old. What are you doing raising prices on your system?
Yeah.
Sony rose its prices in certain countries, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even in Japan, it rose its prices, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except here, and it's a 5 year old console. So what's the like? If anybody's gonna buy an Xbox, it's not gonna be now more than ever.
Right.
Um, which is bizarre. And I'm just trying to figure out. So, what do you guys want? More people? Do you want more people to have Xboxes or less? Right? Because you're already behind. So you jacking up the prices. So unless you're already dead set on making this the standard pricing for your next console, which I mean, it just didn't make any sense to me because this is a 5 year old product. So we're gonna start doing this next gen cycle. We're just gonna hike up the prices. So I mean, you're just weeding. You're working against yourself, in my opinion, because now you're weeding people out of actually owning a console.
Right.
Like we're sorry to say, I'm not Steve Jobs, but Apple or Android is not gonna make phones dedicated to playing games. They're just not. You know,
I can't say not ever, but I don't. I
it'll
don't.
happen eventually when the
Yeah.
cost of it is the same price of a shoelace of
Right. Right. Right.
manufacturing a shoelace. And
Mm.
by that time, we'll already be in 9K, and people will be using their Apple Vision Pro headsets that are integrated into, just reading other Apple Vision Pro headsets and so on and so forth. It's just like I don't think it's wise. It's always that was a very weird thing that take place, and they're just happy Nintendo did it first. So yeah, let's do it.
And that was the thing that kind of confused me. I was like, because at least with Nintendo, even though I don't think it's okay, all right, we're gonna get to Nintendo soon, also. But I'm like, at least with Nintendo, it's like at least they're kind of hiding it behind a new product, right? It's like here's our things. This is for a system that hasn't come out yet, for games that haven't come out yet. So at least you can hide behind it's a new product. With Xbox, it's like this is the same product, literally the same product. It's not like you dropped the Xbox Series X Pro.
Yeah, definitely
Like,
not. And that was my thoughts. I was like, okay, how is this gonna benefit the people? You're winning with Game Pass, and now you cut people out from owning the system to play Game Pass. This is a perfect win. You take the you're already letting us know that you're losing. You make the systems at a loss. So then, okay, continue. Let this then go ahead and do that pricing that you want. I would have accepted it more because I'm getting more of a premium console. But
mm-hmm.
now, if this is the case, I'll just go on PC. Unless you guys don't want people to buy consoles anymore to have an excuse,
That's a possibility.
then okay, that's it. Then, because for me, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna build my PC. Why am I gonna waste my time buying a PS4, buying a PS5, buying an Xbox Series S when they're hiking up the prices to PC prices to where If I paid that plus a little bit 500, if I pay at least 1,500, I'll get myself something for a long, long time because the games aren't going to improve any better. It's just going to be more efficient than from where we are right now. So why not?
I think it goes back to what we kind of talked about a couple of pods ago, though, where like it's just the barrier of entry of PC, right? It's like the the user friendliness of it is not quite there yet, and then you have the console based games that make it to PC that it's a question mark if they'll ever run optimized. Right, we've been seeing that for the past 2 years of like every brand, every big name game that comes to PC, it's like, oh, it needs a little bit of work. It's barely
Hey,
running on PC.
you're right, and but at that point, I might as well just take the loss, cause take it, because it's like, what's the point? You've already you because what's happening is that they're creating new anomalies in the market when they do these things because they never predicted as cording like so like yo you mean people are buying PCs now? Yeah, and you ask them, yeah, man, just do. Oh, there's a software that helps you mitigate all your thing. That's it. Boom. Now that software is the software to bridge optimization and oh, just run it through this and it'll just you just typed in what you want and it'll prioritize. The same thing what a system does. It's just you can turn your thing into a system that you can control. This software now controls it makes it easier to navigate your PC library on video games with the optimization. That's all it takes. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
but it's not there yet. And then the other thing too is like even if it is getting there, then there's also the cost of entry. So like I say in the group chat all the time, my last console purchase for the foreseeable future will probably be a Steam Deck OLED. But it's also taking me a while to get that because the Steam Deck OLED is like $800. So like there's also that part of it too of like that is technically an appeal, quote unquote, with a console of like I just plug it in, there is no setup needed, and it just works, and it's not $800 before tax.
yeah, but now you have an Xbox that's 800. But
No, but see, that's why I'm like I'm asking you because Tim and I were kind of on the same page of like how does this help y'all? You'll lose more. I feel like to me, what I said to him at the time, I was like I could actually have seen the opposite happening, where because Nintendo was getting such backlash, because Sony has always kind of been like it's kind of pressure to get involved with Sony, because Xbox is already operating at a loss, it's like why not cut the price, include an incentive for Game Pass, and at least kind of get in front of being the quote unquote people's champ title that Nintendo's slowly starting to lose.
mhm.
Because Nintendo's been kind of rolling out how less and less consumer friendly they are. It's like Xbox, you can kind of be like the quote unquote corporate big bro, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, they definitely turned heel. Nintendo definitely turned John Cena heel.
For sure. For sure.
Definitely. I just I don't know if it's an unsurmountable mountain of greed that's like, yo, I want it all, like Vince McMahon. But
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't think people are gonna tolerate this. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, like even if they do, it's gonna be for a while. Like, how many people do me and you own a pair of Balenciagas?
Nope.
That fashion season thing is dying. You see the fashion industry now.
Mm-hmm.
People don't care. Like, yo, I'm getting my stuff from the Walmart, man, or wherever. And now people are learning how to wash their clothes. They're paying attention to. Oh, this is what makes your clothes never fade.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get your whites white again? Boom. I mean, people right now are learning how to utilize what they have and be more resourceful. I'm not wasting money on a game if that's the case. Backlog. The fact that the backlog thing became a trend in Twitter is not people because people are not. If I choose this between me buying a console for my kid and him then playing a game on a cell phone, Apple Arcade all day.
Right. All right.
So it's like they want to people basically NES games and your most top selling game will be a side scrolling game, just like Castlevania Retro. That's
Mm-hmm.
what people will pay. Or you get your Subway Surf loop games.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they think that everybody's gonna stop and oh man, look at Last of Us. people are loving this. Da, 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 da. But the thing is, HBO Go is not built off of Last of Us. HBO Go is built off, or HBO Max is built off a history of award-winning shows and movies that stand the test of time.
Mm-hmm.
So to say that Last of Us is going to change the gaming industry, no, it's just an add-on. It just creates a very niche avenue of approval or a ranking system for that particular thing.
Right.
And with what's going on, Xbox is definitely you're preventing people from entering the brand that you want people to enter.
Yeah, which is it's like on one hand I get the whole thing of like, well, the internal belief of like we feel like we can compete. Like I've said it for the longest time. Like I do think when it comes to general UI or even just the way certain features are set up, I do think the Xbox Series X presents more of a console experience than a PlayStation 5 does.
Mm-hmm.
But that reality doesn't translate to the sales numbers of like, I understand that you guys do. It is a good product. Like I will never sit there and say with a straight face an Xbox Series X is trash. Never. But the thing is, like, you haven't been able to convince the wider market to buy it, and it's not going to help you any further when you're like,
And it would have. You guys just killed your momentum.
yeah, yeah,
What's day one? Oh, Oblivion. Now Doom Dark Ages is day one on the series. People are going crazy for it, and this is like,
hmm
yeah, but it's like $800 to get an Xbox Series X for what, man? I ain't paying that. And
yeah,
like the momentum was there. People were like, you know what? I might get me a Series X. This would have been the icing on the cake. You could have jacked the prices. Next console generation drops.
hmm
And then I wouldn't have been as mad because you redeemed yourself in my eyes.
yeah.
Or the masses wouldn't have. You would have won your campaign. Boom. Xbox for president 2026.
No, for sure.
And
Because
now,
to your point of like, especially with the amount of games that have been dropping this year and the amount of like generally good reviews those games have been getting, it's all about perception.
it's all about perception.
They were like, yo, Xbox spent 2025 dropping day one after day one after day one, all of them getting sevens or better from critical reviews. The Xbox Series X, they bundled it with this and this and this, so you get all these perks out the gate just from buying it.
That
They.
yeah. That barbershop talk gonna be crazy.
hmm
Yeah, man. Is the new Call of Duty out? No, yeah, man. But hey, get Game Pass. What's Game Pass?
I agree with you.
Then as soon as that price for the Xbox Series X hit, oh nah, forget that, man. I'll pay my car note. I'll repair this tire.
Right,
Like
right.
I'll pay it. No, it's just not realistic. Like, what are they doing, man? But
I mean, I guess it seems like from a general industry thing, like they're trying to turn gaming into more of a luxury hobby. Which is why I kind of went with the title we went with for this episode of like the backlog year, because of like, okay, I guess I will have plenty of time for my catalog because I'm not buying any of this. Like, there's no way I'm buying any of this. Because to your point, I'm like, I did at one point consider like, man, maybe I should get an Xbox as well for Game Pass. If I can get one at a good price, I'll use it for a lot of the day one stuff. It'll probably help me with streaming newer games and call it a day. And then it's like, nope, it's going up by $130. It's like, well, never mind.
yeah, like maybe they're thinking because Grand Theft Auto's coming out and the price that it's gonna be, people don't care. They're gonna buy the console at whatever price if that's what they're going for.
But why would I buy Xbox? I'll just buy a PS5 Pro if that's the case.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Because now, well, my library is on here. That's a talking point.
hmm
Me and you are attached to our libraries, bro.
hmm
If right now Sony had almost nearly every PlayStation game, PS1 game, PS2 game available on the PlayStation's services would be 20 times
hmm
more profitable. What you mean? I get to play the first Metal Gear Solid. Don't sell this to me again. Excuse me. But the thing with Sony's strategy is that they want to sell you the same thing over and over again.
Clearly,
So
it's been made no more obvious in this generation of like
yeah,
we are gonna
Pay,
repackage the work.
PlayStation pay to play.
Yep.
You
Baking
know what I'm
soda
saying?
residue. I'm gone with the other two. Just
Jeez.
cop 10 so far that I hit three.
Oh my god. This cannot be. This is we're not in real. This is not real, man. This reality is beyond. I just don't know. They're like, you know what? I did they come together, all three parties, to say, listen, we don't want to sell consoles anymore. How can we destroy the industry to where only people with Balenciagas for that go to sleep in Balenciaga, wake up in Giorgio Armani can like, you know, we want to sell a gold plate. Yeah, once I saw a Gucci covered Xbox Series X, I said, "What? Who is this for?"
I think, and this is my like long shot theory. I think it's a mixture of a couple of things. I think that video that I sent you guys the other day, where the lady was breaking down what caused the industry to slowly have its collapse, plays a
Mm,
part. You
yeah.
know, where it's like they were seeing all this explosive growth, which we talked about to some degree, and they thought that it would sustain itself. And now that it's not, like you said multiple times, there are investors who got in on the games market that don't need to be in the games market, that don't realize that games aren't like a new piece of tech. That's not how it works over here. And now they're like, well, I'm not getting what I invested. The live service thing isn't working. I need to make a profit. I need to see profits somewhere. And I feel like that whole thing of like, okay, what have we done in the past that the general audience seems to be okay with? And the answer has been to raise prices, right? Like, if you think about it, we weren't seeing $70 games until I think it was what, NBA 2K14 dropped. And like, it's going to be $70 because it's a next gen experience. And then everything all of a sudden was a next gen experience. And people were mad, but after a while, we got accustomed to it. So I think to some degree, I think that's kind of what the mindset is now of like, well, they'll be upset. They'll get pushed back. They'll be pushed back initially, but people will deal with it. Or we just need, like you said, the ones we don't need a lot of people. We just need the whales, the Balenciaga buying, Rodeo Drive shopping people to buy up most of these things, to buy the $40 microtransaction.
Okay, so my thing is like you're gonna be doing to us what the third world countries suffer from whenever they see an Xbox or another game to play. So you're ruling these people out. Now you ruled everybody else, your main units in the US. Like we're going through a tough time and you want to raise prices and blame it on external forces, which has just almost all of it is now being resolved.
Right. And not
So
even
it,
that. You're also talking about billion and $1 trillion companies. This ain't
yeah,
mom and pop.
which wait. They just made another million right now.
Xbox's quarterly report, or sorry, Microsoft quarterly report was very well received. Just to give you context, they're not suffering. They're not doing bad.
They're not doing bad at all. And so like certain companies when they first start they expect to lose a number of years before it gets popular. And
Hmm.
so what's wrong with this strategy? And I just think they're pricing us out. Like I'm not buying. I might as well just get me a P to the C. What are
Yeah,
we
I'm
doing?
not buying none of it, bro.
What are we
None
doing?
of it.
Like, if I'm, you guys don't like it, don't buy it. You want that attitude? You want to set that atmosphere for everybody? Okay, you got it. You got it. Let's do it. Let's do it. My phone will be more profitable to me than the Series X,
Yeah,
right? So like, if Apple decides to, hey, we have this device that you can hook up to your phone, and it could do what the Series X do and the PlayStation Pro can do all in one. Here's the price point. Okay. And now, as a console generation, you have to bend the knee to Mr. Steve Jobs and friends, Tim Cook and friends. Like,
Hmm.
like these unpredictable things that the companies feel like the numbers are good for a while until somebody else comes out with something to where why didn't we think of that? Well, you guys cut yourselves out of these ideas all the
Hmm.
time.
Hmm.
You had this idea existed when Bill Gates was probably still at the company and shot
Hmm.
it down. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's happening right now, and I think they're gonna just price everybody out because I know for a fact people aren't buying. Um,
I mean, I'm with you. Like the exact scenario you described was me. I'm like, oh, maybe I should like think about investing in an Xbox Series X. Now I'm like, there's absolutely no way. There's no way I'm buying one. Why? Why would I
what
do that?
and it's not like the Series S is gonna help you experience the best to invest
Yeah,
in games.
it's not gonna get it done.
It's not going to get it done. That system is going to collapse under the mind crush of the games you're asking it to play. What you want to run Ninja Gaiden at 60 frames per second?
Right.
Well, on Unreal Engine 5,
Yeah, right, right.
like,
Introducing Microsoft Cloud. Cloud gaming.
and that doesn't even have enough power to compute. You need a quantum computer to do that to run it.
Yeah.
Unless we're gonna have our computers in Alaska on a polar ice cap, it's not happening.
Yeah, bro. That's why I was waiting to talk to you about it because I'm like, I don't know. Tim was saying the same thing. He don't know of like, how does this help Microsoft? And I think in terms of like the for the buying audience, it just tells them like, hey, you might want to leave this seemingly sinking ship of hardware.
Hey, listen, you spent that much money on Balenciagas. Why can't you spend it on a game? Well, a game is not necessary for me to survive.
Hmm.
I'll pick up another hobby. People are buying puzzles again.
They're doing a lot of things.
Scrabble. I'll play D&D. Hey, Ant, you're a level 34. You got 6 power. Okay, wait. What your character's from this tribe? Oh, they're telepathic. Okay.
Yeah, like I've been
and that, and
like I've been
that's it.
telling y'all, Yu-Gi-Oh's never been cheaper than ever than to get into right now, bro. I'm getting cards for $1. A
Oh,
dollar.
hey, bro, I saw the Solomon Judgment, brought me back memories. I said, oh, let me go get it. Let me
Hmm.
get it, man.
Yeah.
Let me get it, man. I'll even fight at the line for the Pokemon cards, man. I need something to do, bro. I got time. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This
Come
is
here, kid. Yeah.
like I said, the backlog years, bro. I'm like, oh, I don't have to worry about the newest and the latest and the greatest because I can't afford it. That's
and
no
and
problem.
and now you've introduced a new word into the vocabulary system of gamings, right next to retro. Backlog gamer.
Yep. Yep.
A new definition. What's a backlog gamer? Well, a backlog gamer is a combination of retro gaming
Uh huh.
and gaming's to where gamers just stop buying games right out the gate altogether. And so now you have a backlog gamer. These backlog gamers are the causes of why a lot of our former companies, this is PlayStation, formerly known as PlayStation. Well, the rumor is that they priced everyone out of games to the point that nobody bought games. And therefore the gaming system, the game economy crashed. And yeah, you come on, guys.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's necessarily it's gonna crash outright, but I do think it's gonna get a lot worse. That's kind of been my whole thing of like, I just don't see how any of these decisions from any of these companies are helping them in, let's just say, even in the next 3 years. Like, how does this benefit y'all? Like
You,
to
you,
pursue this path.
you only want Paris Hilton and friends to buy the game?
It seems that way.
Hey, man, do it. Hey, have at thee.
it
Have at thee.
seems that way.
Have